Hello, hello, my dear fellow realtors. We are here again with the Real Stuff Show.
Hey, we're back.
We are back.
Must
we are
be
back.
Thursday. Must be
And
Thursday.
today is going to be extremely exciting. This is a show for you if you're a realtor or if you want to know a little bit more about real estate. It's a way, an edgy way that you approach here to show you news and the life of the realtors and also everything about real estate.
It's the not so glamorous life, Augusto. The not so glamorous life.
Not so glamorous.
No fluff, no BS.
And today, I have here as our featured guest, Dana Flanagan. This beautiful girl, she's rocking two states at the same time as a realtor. And I also have my Batman here, my stronger guy, my pickleball agent, Jay Granieri, as a host.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me, Augusto.
And Raquel Rafael is co-hosting with us today as a panelist, invited by us so she can share a little bit of her knowledge. She is the mortgage fairy.
Oh man, the heavy hitter in the mortgage world here.
Yeah.
Right next to us.
Woo! So the Real Stuff Show.
Augusto, I'm so excited to get Dana on the show. Dana joined our team not too long ago, and we count Dana as our secret weapon. As you mentioned before, she is a dual agent in multiple states. Actually, you carry your license.
She is a spy, right? So she'll probably getting some.
She's probably stealing.
Dana, let me ask you a straight question. Do you bring some secret stuff that you get into Connecticut to Jay here?
She's got it.
You do bring any inside information of the other brokerage to him? Tell me the truth now.
I do. Yeah.
She knows what she's doing. She just calls the vent to me. I'm just like a phone a friend. That's all I am.
So this is super funny. You know, this is again, I'm learning everything about the real estate. So I'm a painter. I'm here to understand a little bit more about your journey, you know, and I never knew that someone would be selling 2 different states.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
That's new for me, you know. It's cool.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I'm going to keep trying to expand, keeping the business global, I guess, local and global. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun down here in South Florida selling homes and working with the curated collection group.
She's got like the best life ever.
Yeah. I see some.
Have her on
I follow her Instagram.
Like a GPS and follow what she did. Exactly.
Don't
It's
let
only
social
like
media fool
the
you.
beautiful life, right?
I was like, I just talked to her 3 minutes ago on the beach, and she's like on a mountain in Vail or something like that. I'm like, I'm not so sure what's going on here.
Yeah.
But this is not common. This is the first time. Like, do you know other realtors, Jay, that does this that are in multiple states?
You know, it takes. In my personal opinion, Denny, you could probably speak to this too. I think it takes a certain type of agent to be able to anybody can do it, but it takes a certain type of agent to be able to handle the business, workload and obviously the traveling and multi juggling. I mean, she's got relationships all over the place, and just like anything else, we try to nurture the relationships we have in our backyard. She's got to handle business back at home. She's trying to establish herself here. This is why it was a good marriage for us to be with her, to kind of help her kind of introduce her to our network. She develops her own networks here, and but that's not it. I mean, you also do business in other states as well too, and then shoot, I've seen in sometimes other countries.
I do, yeah. I do some other stuff.
Do you have other peers that that also do this multiple states?
Not the way that I do it.
Okay.
And I do it, back and forth every other week. So it's a lot.
Yeah.
But it's easier for me to be able to keep my finger on the pulse of the market in both states where I truly do live in both areas. I'm very involved in Fort Lauderdale and a lot of different organizations. I'm very connected with the chamber. I've really put myself out there. So I really do feel like a part of the community. And, I grew up in Connecticut, so I'm very connected there. That's a little bit easier for me because it's established roots and that sort of thing.
And Dana's an agent like we would reach out to, because she's in the Sotheby's network up north as well. So to us, like she would be somebody that we would identify, try to establish a relationship with and try to build that sort of reciprocity kind of opportunities between her, sending people down both ways. She just cut out the middleman now, so she's she's doing the right thing.
But I don't know. Jay told me little secrets. He mentioned to me that you are so seduced by the Florida that you're gonna be abandoning Connecticut. I don't know if it's his dream or if it's true, but right now is it time to review it? Is it true or false?
Well, I don't know if I could ever truly abandon Connecticut. I love it this time of year up there. I was there for Memorial Day weekend, and it was just, the weather was beautiful. And I got off the plane yesterday morning, and I was like, wow, it's really soupy and humid out. It's kind of gross out today. So I love South Florida. I love the vibe. I love the energy of people. There's so much opportunity. I just think there's a lot of entrepreneurial individuals that are down here, and a lot of people are from elsewhere. So it's great because you can be out and about, and people are much more open to meeting other people, I find, which is great for me because I'm a connector and I love to hear people's stories, and I like to see how maybe potentially we could work together. So I find that it's much easier for me to form a relationship and potentially help someone with their business, and in turn maybe they have something that they could utilize that I offer. So I find that that's something that's really special that I didn't have in Connecticut. So
do you get any help to do what you do?
Well, I have obviously the team here in South Florida, which is great because, truly you can't be everywhere doing everything. And this is a business like any other business. And I think that's really important for realtors to treat it that way. You don't go into a doctor's office or a dentist office and the dentist is checking you in and taking your insurance card and scheduling appointments. And you've got different, they delegate, obviously. So I find that there's so many realtors. This is like the only industry where you see people running around like a chicken with their head cut off. And they don't understand that you can have a showing assistant, you can have a buyer's agent, you can delegate certain things so you can leverage yourself and be able to truly grow and build your business. And so that's what I've done. I mean, I don't necessarily show homes a ton anymore. I will if it's a special client or a friend, but you can't be everywhere. You can't be everything to everyone. So I do have people that help, and everybody down here in South Florida is great to help out. And my team members in Connecticut are the same. So yeah, it's nice. You have to be able to pivot. You have to really be able to pivot.
Yeah. And probably set the precedence in the beginning too. Like if you're working with a client, you kind of let them know kind of how things work in your world.
Right.
Yeah.
Dana, 1 second, guys, we're gonna discover the entire story of Dana. All her secret sauce very soon. But before we go there, let's come to our news, vanilla news, Jay.
This might be the most important segment that we have here for the Real Stuff show. Vanilla news.
And guys, this news was not brought by Jay. It was brought by Raquel.
Yes.
But Jay, read please
I'll set it up.
Headlines.
I'll set it up for our mortgage professional here. But as you know, we have went through complete upside down flip-flopping of interest rates and financing, challenges throughout the last, let's say the better half of last year. Our government's trying to do a lot of different things. The lending world's trying to do a lot of different things. And this is one of the programs that kind of came out. It was something that I remember you talking about a long time ago, Raquel. And it almost was kind of a spin-off of a mortgage plan that really benefited our
Jay, before we get into the subject, it's going to be great if you can read the headlines.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Because nobody's knowing what's happening.
So if you're watching, Governor Ron DeSantis announces Hometown Heroes program reaches a milestone of $50 million. Awarded for down payments and closing cost assistance.
That's great, Jay! Finally!
But it's going to $100 million on July 1st.
So
now that people knows about what you're talking about, you can go inside.
So we used to have these types of programs, and they're really geared towards healthcare professionals. It's really kind of where, and military as well too. But now we've broadened this, and you're really looking at the people of the streets, which is our educators, our law enforcement, our fire and paramedic crews, and the inflation, everything's gone up. So damn expensive to buy a house nowadays, and it's nice to see that the government working in joint with was this a Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac?
It's Fannie, Freddie, Ginnie. It's a VA. They all can use it. However, July 1st, they're opening it up to everybody in Florida who works for a company that has a brick and mortar company, like location in Florida.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not just the Hometown Heroes, which are the police and the firefighters and the teachers and the.
And this is free money, Raquel? This is some money that I'm gonna get.
Like, what's the qualification?
I would love. How much money you're gonna get from me, Raquel, on this?
Well, it's
Augusto might be back on the market.
Back on the market because I was so poor. Now I'm gonna have some to buy.
Always a reason.
But probably not your type of house. Then I'm so sorry.
This is to help people get into home ownership. It's 5% of the loan amount, not the purchase price, up to right now it's $25,000.
Okay.
Come July 1st, it's going to $35,000.
Which is pretty much, I mean, on a single family home. I mean, within reason, you're looking at
it's a nice
significant chunk of your down payment.
Like bump to get into home ownership.
Let me bring you something polemic. Don't you think the politician is tricking us and playing with us? So first they destroy our purchase power, and now they're sending us some little nuggets here. Get $5,000, get $20,000, but you completely destroy.
They give you an 8%.
Yeah, so I lose my job. The inflation is so high right now. All homes that's 30% more expensive. Say, okay, and I gave you now our award, and everybody's gonna be so happy clapping.
So controversial.
And great politician.
Great.
But I don't know, guys. That's what I feel.
Let me give you a little bit of a perspective.
I like that perspective.
My first mortgage was at 18%. It was 1983. So 7%, which is right now, today I quoted, it's not that bad, but it's worse than what it was a year or two ago when it was 2.5% or 3% or 3.5%. So people getting that idea that that's what rate's supposed to be. No, those rates were artificially kept down because of COVID. Right. And now we're more into reality. And one thing that you need to know, and if you want, I'll show you the slides from the 70s. Every time that there was an inflation, after inflation, rates go down. So rates will go down.
Nobody buys with Jay now, guys. Everything is gonna go down.
No, but what you're doing right now, you're getting your foot in the door. You don't marry the rate. You marry the house. You rent.
You date the rate.
You date the rate.
Date the rate.
Because if you can get into the house now where sellers are willing to negotiate, you get seller concession, you get down payment assistance. So if you can qualify, you get in and you refinance it in a year.
But I want the truth, Raquel.
Okay.
You can't handle the truth.
What?
Is Augusto right? I mean, with dinging us on the front end, with the higher interest rates, with the inflation market happening right now, so everything's costing more. So and the government's controlling a lot of these things, and then they just do something sideways where they say, well, we're gonna make it more expensive over here, but then we're gonna give you some free money over here. Like, why? Like, why do this?
I don't feel that it's right. They're still giving money for COVID. I mean, still companies can go and get $26,000 or something like that per employee if they had employees during COVID. I think this stuff needs to stop. Everybody is back into work. Yeah. The more money that they put in the street, the longer the inflation keeps, because there's a lot of money. People are using it. But right now, what's going on? A lot of people are going into that.
And that's my point. So instead of really adjusting the size of the state, the government, and doing stuff the right way, people is getting a little bit more money, right? But they're still spending more. And I just heard that there is the ceiling of the debt ceiling, and right now there is no more debt ceiling for 2 years.
Isn't that great?
And that's in the hands of the Democrats. I don't know, Jay, are you Democrat?
I plead the fifth.
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm a little drunk today, so.
I'm a swing vote.
Anyways, swing vote. Oh, this is so. Jay, I'm not gonna have you as my host here. We have to be edgy here, man. We have to be a little bit more outside the box. Anyways, coming back to this, guys, this is a great news. How it will impact you then? Right now that you are. This is some type of money that your buyers, because you deal with really super high-end clients, right? So
not so much. No.
Okay.
My bread and butter for my entire real estate career up in Connecticut was an average price point of about $400,000.
Right.
Okay.
So I dealt
predominantly mortgage buyers, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you're seeing cash now because the market is still so insane in Connecticut. It's very different than it is in South Florida. So we don't have any inventory. Homes are still going way over asking price, waiving inspections, cash offers. Still.
Wow.
It's pretty, it's pretty bleak in the sense of listings and inventory, and buyers are still, going after house after house after house, where the market in Florida has softened. And what I'm finding in Florida is that sellers haven't really caught up to the market. They tend to be about 6 months behind. Yeah. So they're overpriced. You're seeing a lot of overpriced listings. You're seeing
other than ours.
Exactly, right.
But
ours are selling.
But I'm sorry, let's just bring this because she just brought it for me.
Oh boy, what do you got over there?
And let's do this.
We got a new one, new topic.
My God, I think in Florida is the same than Connecticut.
What kind of sites are you on, Augusto? Political sites.
Again. Vanilla News, Jay. Please, headlines first, okay, Jay?
Study finds real estate overvaluation across Florida. Dun, dun, dun. To Dana's point.
But what we're talking about is Connecticut is even worse than here right now, right?
As far as the inventory goes, there just isn't any inventory. So we haven't seen that adjustment where I think we've seen it in South Florida. Not to say that the prices haven't really come down. I mean, prices have been very overly inflated. And I think we'll continue to kind of stay that way, and they have stabilized. But what we're seeing is sellers that maybe thought their house was going to sell super fast last summer are seeing now that they're on the market, and now they're like, let's do another open house. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it's really comes down to price.
Yeah.
I mean, there are two things that sell a home: price and presentation. If you're not priced right, it doesn't matter how much marketing that you do. Yes, you can get with great presentation, you can get a little bit more for a property, sure. But you really need to be strategic in how you price your home to get the most for your property. And in this market, I think, the bubble has sort of died down.
So Jay, probably I was not so strategic when I tried to sell my house, right? I tried to sell my house 30% overpriced.
No.
It was a lot of
it was. So guys, if you want to sell a home, don't do like me. Don't put your love assets into your home.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave him a realistic price, and we had an offer that was a really good offer for it. But you wanted a little bit more, but you weren't ready to go anyway.
Yeah, a little bit, a lot more.
This is, it's funny because if you think it just like the essential idea of inflation, we were overspending, right? So what happened? Interest rates, bond market changed, interest rates went up, and now they looked at that as a freezing idea, right? So they idealized, people were like not going to go out and buy homes because the interest rates were just too much. They don't want to. But here's the funny thing. Now, to Raquel's point, if the interest rates go down and now we get more inventory on the market, what's going to happen? It's going to spike up a whole hell of a lot of buying again and a lot more spending again. And then all of a sudden now. So it's just like this whole secular issue that I just don't quite understand. It's like you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't.
That's why right now we have a real nice window of opportunity, because last year, if you wanted to see a house, you stood in line with 40 other people.
Right.
Now, 2, 3, 4. Last year, if you wanted to give an offer, you had to offer the seller 20, 30, 50, 100,000 more than they were asking to even entertain your offer. Now you can get credits. You can lower the price. You can get seller concession. You can do 2-1 buy downs. There's a lot of those.
But using the elements. And again, I'm completely outsider, guys, so that's why the show is so interesting. Using the analysis, I'm outside, I'm a painter, I'm buying homes, right? So if I have a 3% interest rate, correct, I'm going to have the leverage of the interest rate through my house. So technically, I could buy a $600,000 home. That's what I've done, right? But now with 7% interest rate, I would need to buy a $350,000 home.
It's not that much.
Not that much, but let's say 400. Okay, almost half of it, right? And then,
or just put more money down.
That's my point. So my question is, that's great. You can negotiate, but not to a point right now that will compensate the difference in interest rate. So that's why, sincerely, I think market's a little freeze right now.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Don't you agree? What do you think?
Yeah. The dollar amount doesn't match up. You're right. But there's always a need, and in Florida, we tend to feel a different pain point than I think some other markets do. And Dana might jump to say, agree. She might be from an area which is much more, residential. They're kind of this is their home.
Mm-hmm.
We're down here. We've got multiple reasons to buy houses, whether it's income, whether it's second homes,
right,
and whether it's primary homes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Dana, do you think? I'm sorry.
And every market is each of those three segments are affected differently. Not the interest rates might not affect one market compared to another. So,
well, the interest rates don't affect as many people in Florida, I find, because you have so many cash buyers.
Yeah. And that's my question. So my question is, we are talking to realtors, right? Technically, our audience is realtors. What is the good advice you can give to those guys in that condition right now in the market? What we can say to them? If they are new, if they don't know how to read too much the market, what do you say to them in terms of advice?
I mean, list properties.
Mm-hmm. Always
go back to that, right? Mm-hmm. I talked to this about last time. Still try to become a listing agent. It's the best way to control the inventory. You're not affected by the interest rate at that point. Mm-hmm. Second would be know the different types of opportunities that we have in Florida here. If you're dealing with investments, you're looking at cap rates. You're looking at, and right now there are a lot of cash buyers in the investment market area because they're looking for places to put cash. There's still a lot of money. Remember, one thing that happened with COVID is a lot of people had a lot of money, or they took a lot of these got a lot of these SPA and PPP loans, and they didn't have anything to do with it after a while. They realized the market went back. Their businesses did great, and they were flush with cash. So they're looking for places to put their.
Jay, all my PPP money are gone.
Yeah, where is your PPP money?
There's no more my PPP money, man. After 6 months, it's gone.
Man, this poor guy spent it all on the Real Stuff show.
That's my point, guys. So
we are looking for sponsors.
All for your good.
We're looking for sponsors.
Yeah. So talking about sponsors, Jay.
There we go. See, I do this.
Help me to sell more homes. I can maintain this.
There's a new segue here. Hey, so listen, everybody out there, if you're looking for a way to market your property or expose yourself to a mass amount of audience, show yourself that you have a little bit of knowledge about the market, we'd love you to join us on our show. But even more so, if you're interested in actually sponsoring one of the segments, we'll make this whole show about you. We're also looking for tradespeople that would like to be a sponsor, like the Captain Painter here to my left. Augusto has a thriving painting business here in the South Florida community. Locations here in Fort Lauderdale, and the Captain Painters are the preferred painter group that we use here at the Curated Collection Group. So give them a shot.
Because every home is a
temple.
That's great.
CaptainPainter.com. Check them out.
Okay, let's go to the second part of our segment. It's talking about everything about Dana today. Your background, how you came to the real estate. So you're from Connecticut, right? Jay, what do you know about Dana? Because she is she's in your team right now. I'm gonna do some check, you have some couples check, to see if they know about each other. So, this is the new segment of
Put Jay on the spot. Is that the new segment?
What do you know about her?
So Dana's got 4 kids. Yeah. She's been married happily for 27 years. And
amazing.
Not even close.
And she's a natural redhead.
Dana,
listen, it was a pretty strict
he deserves you or not after this?
27. How old do you think I am?
No, what I know about Dana is really from a professional perspective. We're getting to know each other better personally.
Sure.
As she comes down here and moonlights more. We're spending more time together. But she's a listing agent for one thing. So anybody that's really has some Q&A for her, we're talking about a true professional here. For over 20 years in the business.
Right.
And so a lot of the stuff that you'll see on Dana's sites are going to be some fantastic and beautiful properties up in the North State. And from the listings perspective, but she's
So is the mountains? What do we have there? What is the interesting stuff? Sorry,
we're talking Connecticut has everything.
I'm still learning. Like my citizenship. My citizenship is going to be only 5 years.
North of Broward County.
What's funny? It's. I live in a very hilly area, and when I get off the plane after being here for 2 weeks and I drive the rolling hills to my house, I'm like, wow, hills.
Right.
Like it's like the first thing I notice when I get back. It's so funny because you just don't have that here. But it's a beautiful state. A lot of people unfortunately are moving out, which is so interesting to me that there are so many buyers that are still, looking for homes, because a lot of people are moving out for political reasons, for weather, better better quality of life, or if they're working from home now after COVID, you're seeing a lot of that. But I
always felt like when I always pictured what you were doing in Connecticut was, listen, New York City and went through a lot of turmoil during, and I felt like, Connecticut always had this sort of like, it was like the neighboring, state where everybody would kind of like, that's where you kind of want to live, and then you commute to the city. Is that kind of where you're at?
Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of people that commute to the city from like Fairfield County. Right. I live closer to Hartford, so you've got a lot of people that do like kind of like the Greenwich, and that's sort of Fairfield County in Connecticut's sort of its own little separate island, its own state, really. Yeah. The pricing's just a lot higher. It's definitely higher priced, and it's just a different market.
Yeah.
So, but you've got the shoreline, you're close to the mountains, New England's beautiful. If anybody's never been there, I highly recommend it. I mean, it's a beautiful place and you kind of have everything, but I feel like being down in South Florida, I don't really need to go to like the Caribbean anymore, or go on vacation, because you like live on vacation down here, you know what I mean? And
you are on vacation land.
It's beautiful. I mean, just driving down A1A and the palm trees and the sun most of the time is, out all day, every day. Not like this week, but it's just been a really great experience. I love to travel and I love to see new places. But really establishing yourself somewhere new feels really, to me, it feels great to be kind of an accepted. I didn't know how people were going to feel coming down here, making friends in the chamber and being that new realtor, and everybody's been so kind and embracing, and I really didn't feel like it was going to be like that. So I'm really happy to say that it has been.
Yeah, no, you're
but I think it depends of whoever is there, right? I think your energy, because you have a beautiful energy. And guys, she's going to tell you a little bit about The Secret, a book that she read and completely changed her life. But this energy that you have, and then how you position yourself, I think it brings this type of response from the environment, from the people, right?
Absolutely.
So what did you do before real estate, Tina?
I know you don't know.
So I actually worked in the hotel industry. And
she was a rising star, so she was really fast getting to management.
Great, I could have interviewed her as well, Augusto. Thanks.
Yeah. I would like to highlight, she's so modest. I don't know if she's going to tell you this, Well, tell us a little bit more.
I got into real estate pretty young, but I did it, part-time initially because I was very young and very new. And so I obviously needed a steady income at the time. And I worked in the hotel industry. I started in a sales office position and worked my way up through management, and I loved it. I got to learn a lot about the hotel. I've opened hotels, so
and you were very young and did this super fast, right? And how many years you jump into the management?
19 through 23.
Okay.
Yeah, wow. 19 to 24.
In about 4 years, you jump to like a lot of the ladder in terms of the corporate.
Yep, and then I'll never forget the day I quit my job.
What state was that in? Was that in the Northeast?
Yeah, I was in Connecticut too. Okay. And really, the way that in the hotel industry, you really have to be relocatable to really make some really good money at resorts and that sort of thing. At the time, I wasn't feeling like that was an option for me, but I really enjoyed it. It was a really fun industry. I worked in a hotel. One of my favorite positions was we were the host hotel for the UConn Huskies, which, if you know, UConn basketball is national champions many times. Right. So all the teams that played UConn stayed at our hotel, and I was in charge of their room blocks and dealing with the coaches. And it was really a really great opportunity for me, working really closely with like the sports directors and that's athletic departments at these different universities. So that was a fun time. Yeah.
Is there anything that you think that you learned by that time that you apply right now? Nowadays, being a realtor?
Yeah, I think I learned to be extremely professional very young. And I wear suits every day to work. And, for me, it was all about professionalism. And I think that's why I worked. I didn't have a college degree. Most people, most of the positions I have, all of the positions I had required a hospitality management degree. And I just got promoted through just my experience and knowledge of the industry. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Hustler.
Yeah.
So Jay, like pickleball shorts will be considered as a professional.
I was trying to decide between flip-flops or sandals when I was coming here. So, that's standard in Florida. That's dressy.
That's okay.
That's dressy.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit different here, right? Compared to
I'm a little surprised
in terms of the dressing,
I see
the
people
different
wearing.
rules.
I still am trying to get used to it as far as, what people are wearing in their professional photos and that sort of thing. It's just a different market, and it's a different vibe.
Yeah. We did our team photo yesterday, and she was checking me out, kind of looking like, she could have dressed up a little bit more.
No, we have a great team. Everybody's extremely professional. Everybody helps each other out. It's a really great camaraderie. So I couldn't be more happy to be a part of the group. And, what I like is that this team doesn't collect people. And there's a lot of teams out there that are just collecting people, and just how many bodies can they get on their team to say they have 40 people on their team. And it's really about the quality of the people and not the quantity. So everybody brings something special to the table, which is great.
That's a nice compliment.
We do the same here, right? The Real Stuff show.
Oh yeah, the Real Stuff too. Yeah. We hand select very, very.
So tell us a little bit how it was the first approach to real estate. You were doing like the hotel industry. You were like ramping up in terms of the position that you have, making money, getting connection. Why real estate, and how did you discover?
Were you poaching? Were you using the people that you kind of met at the hospitality world and kind of said, "Hey, and we'd like to buy something too in the area"? And you kind of.
How I started my business. This was 21 years ago. So I did open houses for other successful agents that had listings. That's how I started. We didn't have the social media that we have now. I just feel like there's so many tools for people getting into the industry now. When they can't make it, it just blows my mind, and it's not for everybody, but really just having to go out there and pound the pavement. And I would do 2 open houses on the weekends, one right after another I didn't have my own listings at the time. So I would get a list, and we had a lot more traffic at open houses back then because you couldn't view them online the way you can now.
Right.
So I would get a list of like 30 names, and I would just put them into database and call them and call them and call them. And this is really dating. I'm not that old, but even when texting it wasn't really a thing.
Right.
And that's when you had to hit the button 3 times to get to the F or whatever. So, it wasn't, you literally had to pick up the phone. I also think it made it more personal, which I like. This is a personal business. And I think when you take the personal touch out of it, it really becomes very robotic. So I think it's really important to still try to maintain that personal touch. And that's what I try to do. So
yeah, you do. She does this well too. Just watching her throughout her other extensions of networking in multiple states and multiple networks that she does, that's you're good at like that.
It's not transactional. It's relational. And if you build that, you can have clients for life.
Yeah. It's so important to I always call it go back to basics. A handwritten note goes a long way.
Yes.
A phone call and asking a client how their kids are, or, how was your vacation, and talking to them a little bit I know we're so quick now to save time, and we all are very busy, and it just seems things get busier and busier. But I think it's really important to try to, really build that rapport and touch on something that makes them feel special and like you really care. And
now you talk about old school methods, which I'm a big advocate of too, right? This is a belly to belly business, but you've embraced tech in ways that other people haven't even touched on yet. And maybe you should share that with people about, your venture into the media space, so it's not all about Instagram. It's all about the gram.
We have a special segment for this. Okay. So give a little bit, but not as much.
All right. We'll save that. We'll save that nugget.
And we're going to have very soon the golden nuggets of knowledge. And she's going to share how
Dana's
to do
some secret weapons.
Social media.
The right way.
Right. Like right now, so it's a little bit more about your story too. So you get to real estate, right? And how did you discover it? And what was your first approach?
So my aunt was a realtor for 25 years in the town I grew up in, and we're very close. And so I would, instead of, going on to play at someone's house when I was, 12, I would go into the office with her. And sometimes just because I'd be, staying over her house that weekend or whatnot, and she's like, I have work to do, you're gonna have to sit in the office. But I would start doing little tasks for her. Back then we used to handwrite the just sold and just listed cards with the actual address, and I actually had to put a stamp on it and handwrite the, the mailing address, and I would do all that for her, and she would pay me 5 cents a card. And, so I would sit there and count how many cards I have to do to, make a few bucks. And so I really got to listen to the women in the office, And they looked so, at the time, they looked so glamorous. And they looked like they were having fun, and they all drove nice cars. And, I would hear them on the phone. I'm like, this doesn't really seem like it's that hard. Like, they all seem like they were having a great time. And that was back when people went into the office more, and there was more of that office camaraderie.
Yeah. And that's what we show you guys, that it is not. Like,
you know what you didn't hear? You didn't hear all the drama that goes on. Everything seemed much more fluffy and light back then. Maybe I was just missing those phone calls, but no, I just really saw an opportunity to make money doing something that you're not tied to a desk all day. You're paid on your performance. And that's what I liked about it. I just never felt like I wanted to just have X amount of salary for doing this job. And I want to be paid for my expertise and how I treat people and my knowledge and professionalism. So,
did your aunt train you? Did you go on her
she
team?
actually out of the business the year that I got into the business. She helped me with my first transaction, and she was, of course, there for a lot of questions and that sort of thing. But, again, with old school mentality and ways of doing things, I figured out how to do things faster and more efficient very quickly. And so, she would kind of give me advice, and I'd be like, no, I'm not going to do it that way. So, I kind of just built my own way of doing things. And, it was a lot of fun.
Did you ever look back? Did you ever, in 20 years, was there ever a time where you're like, ugh, like, I got to get out of this. This is tough.
Right now?
Right.
No, I mean, it's things change, and, I'm starting to evolve with other things in my life in regards to I work on a couple of TV shows as a host and producer.
Teaser alert.
And so
competitor of the Real Stuff Show. We cannot say here. No. I'm joking. This is
signed a disclosure. Come on.
But no, I started working as a consultant for family offices and high net worth individuals. So I started that this year, and that's been fun and exciting and new. So I'm doing some different things to kind of scale and really go global and to really do what lights me up. I love selling houses. Don't get me wrong. And I can do it in my sleep. I absolutely love working with clients. Doesn't matter the price range. I'll never say no to a sale or a potential client and an opportunity. But I think for me, I always am trying to grow and expand and find kind of a niche that maybe other people wouldn't think to venture into. And I have something down the line that I'm working on that I'm not going to talk about right now because it's a
top secret. Only me and Jay will know.
Piece of my business, but
no, even Jay don't know.
Hey, listen, I don't have kids, so I don't have, I don't pivot the way some parents do. I'm not going to soccer games. So what thrills me is opportunity and excitement for watching something grow from nothing. And, I'll never know what it's like to watch my kid kick a soccer ball into a goal.
You have the get up and go opportunity, which a lot of people just don't have, which is great. Well, obviously you've sort of figured out where you want to be in life, and that's there's nothing wrong with that. That's all just.
But there's a quick
still
question.
Figuring it out, right?
I'm still trying.
Do you really think that Jay does not use his kids to make a transaction?
Well, so that's the other thing, though. So that I'm not part of the PTO. I'm not saying it's soccer games. So I do lose that whole
that network.
That's a big thing.
It is.
To have the kids. Use the dogs, use the kids.
Yep.
No, in fact, his kids was part of his business plan.
Yeah.
I take them with me.
Well,
don't they look hungry?
Well, so I mean, your network is your net worth, right?
Yeah.
So your network is a conglomeration of all the people that surround you. Yeah. So, whether you're putting yourself in a networking group or a BNI, or you're actively talking to people at your kid's soccer game, let them know what you do.
Well, you also have you have this license that can assist you in monetizing a busy life, because think about it, you have so much luxury in the ability to travel and be in all these great destination places, meeting interesting people. But if you didn't have a way to monetize that, you would just be abused left and right, because people would pull you in 100 directions, and you'd be full of great ideas with no result,
right? Right.
And I'm assuming that's probably in your business, in your back of your mindset is always how to make sure that you can monetize your connections.
Absolutely.
How many times a week do you say no?
I tend to probably spread myself thin more than I probably should. But I think what's really important is identifying circumstances and opportunities where it may be a waste of your time, or it may be a really good opportunity. So if it's not a good fit and it doesn't resonate with me, then I'm not doing it. We kind of call it like party with a purpose. So even when I go out for drinks with girlfriends, we're talking to other people at the bar. We're asking them what they do. We're letting them know what we do. And generally, when I'm talking to someone that I meet for the first time, there is a way that I can work together with them in some capacity with one of my businesses. So that's the fun part about it, is they might not be an opportunity for real estate, but they might be a great sponsor for, a TV show or something like that. So
do you have any story about a bar transaction, or a guy or girl that met in a bar and then it became a client of yours?
Oh yeah, many. Yeah. I've met people on the chairlift that I've sold a house to, skiing. I've met people in bars, and I've had some deals fall like in my lap from something like that, where they weren't happy with their realtor. Another point that I want to touch on is pick up.
Because in general, I'm so sorry. Because in general, when Jay goes to party, he's lost like millions of dollars transactions in general.
Yeah, that's right. You remember that? You remember that story?
Yeah. So
take a weekend
you
off,
have to teach Jay a little bit about this.
$6 million just from a party.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
you found out about it.
Yeah, I know. It's the worst.
But let me pick back to your story a little bit, because
me of a great time, Augusto.
I have a very interesting fact for her in the beginning, because when you're starting is extremely difficult, about your first listing. You mentioned to me that your first listing you get because you went to help other senior realtors for their open house. Mm-hmm. And here we have the show to tell people a little bit some secrets of success. I think it's a pretty interesting nugget, So can you mention a little bit how it was?
Yeah. So when you do an open house for another agent, if you don't have any listings, whoever comes through the door is your client. You're doing it for free. So they're not paying you to host the open house. But any clients that walk through the door are your clients. You're the one that's what you're there for. You're trying to pick up clients. I met this woman at another realtor's listing. I remember the house, and actually a realtor in Glastonbury, Connecticut, where I'm from, lives in that house now. So that's my funny story to her. But I remember meeting this woman, and she was a single woman, very upset, going through a divorce. She had a bunch of money to spend, and she really liked how patient I was with her at the time, because she was going to buy, at the time, I think it was a $550,000 house. I'm like, this is going to be my first sale. And I didn't want to tell her it was my first sale because I didn't want her to drop me. So I spent so much time driving her around and, just really listening to her be upset about her divorce and everything. And she bought a house for me, and then she ended up listing her parents' house with me. And then she ended up, I think, selling the house and listed it with me. So nice. I got like 3 transactions, and, she became like a friend. So you just never know who's going to walk through the door. There's times where I feel like, we all put people into voicemail and that sort of thing, but I really do try to answer my phone, because a lot of times people are just dialing through and they see a house online and they want a question answered immediately, and they're just going to go with whoever answers the phone. Yeah. So same with mortgages. You really need to be present. So
interesting. What do you struggle with? You think? What do you think? Is it is it the busy lifestyle? Is it the glamorization? Is it technology?
No, not technology. It's just, I keep everything in my head. I think that, people are probably like, how do you do that? But I'm not a spreadsheet person. Mm-hmm. I am on the go constantly. So I used to have a whiteboard in my office, and I still do, but I'm at that, that desk all week. And then the next week I'm in Florida at a different desk. So I think it's just the systems to streamline and simplify. I probably am doing a lot of things, going around in circles that I probably don't even realize. And when I see someone else that has a great system, I'm like, wow, that's great. So I love learning from others, and specifically, like the younger generation of realtors that have really figured out how to utilize the tools and technology that I'm not even aware of. Mm-hmm. All the millennials and everything.
So are we a dying breed of real estate agents? Is that what it is?
I think it's so important to keep up with the technology. And now we've got AI, that's, the next.
Are you using AI?
I am. I actually am working with a company as a partner of a avatar. It's called Avatar. Check it out. And it's a actual avatar, but it's not a cartoon. It's you. So picture having your listing, and they actually go into a green room and they scan you. So it looks like it's me standing there talking, and it's in every single language. And it's just a great opportunity. It's new to the market, and I don't see any other realtor using it. So if you're interested in that, you can hit me up and I can get that made for you. So yeah,
we should have shown that as an example today.
Yeah. Well, it's I think it's just important to keep up with the times.
I love Avatar. Hit her up, and she's gonna share everything with you.
There's a tech nugget right there.
Yes,
there's a tech nugget.
So let's go to the crazy listing story. Right? You mentioned to me, and we also like to know a little bit some crazy stuff that came up in a realtor life. And you mentioned to me the bonsai tree problem listing.
This just cracked me up, and it cracked up everybody that was on this deal. So long story short, I had the buyers. There was a listing in Connecticut. This was probably 10 years ago now. And we did the final walkthrough before the closing. The closing was at 9 a.m. the following day. We do the final walkthrough.
And everything was completely sharp, right?
Everything was fine. The house was fine, ready. They were really excited. And the listing agent called me and said, the sellers would like to come back and get their Japanese maple tree in the front yard. That's actually like a full-blown tree that's probably 15 feet high and maybe 10 feet wide.
Wow.
And I said, no, they're not coming back to dig up a tree. And the buyers were like, absolutely not. And sometimes people do take like a memorial tree or something, but they usually put it in their inclusion list at the beginning. So she keeps going back and forth with me. And I said, I'm telling the buyers if they really want this tree. And they're like, absolutely not. And I'm like, no, I agree with you. So the next morning, the buyers called me and said, we feel really uneasy. We feel like they've done something. We're going to go over to the house. I said, fine, I'll meet you there. So we went there about 45 minutes before closing. I'm driving down the road, and coming at me is this like huge F-350 pickup truck.
Can you imagine?
Literally a tree, just totally engulfed with a tree. And the tree is bouncing around, and like all I can see is like just the headlights, and the whole thing is just covered.
And she's running. Oh,
and
my
I'm like,
tree!
You got to be kidding me.
Turn that around.
They went and dug up this tree, which is probably not going to live now because you really, I mean, this was a mature tree. So
did they just leave a big hole? They put some tree in place? They
like kind of like, like put some dirt, and the buyers
They didn't even replace the tree.
They were livid.
Wow.
So we go to closing, and we're all like kind of scratching our head, like, what are we going to do? So we now spend the next like 2 hours calling garden centers to see how much a Japanese maple at a such and such age might go for. So we had to get like 3 quotes. They had to give a credit. We were sitting there on this conference table for hours.
The tree thief.
About the tree. I'll just never forget it's
pretty cool.
I didn't know that we can do this.
That's pretty cool.
Selling house. So Jay, if I'm selling my house, I would like to get my pizza oven.
What do you want? That's your tree.
That's my tree, my pizza oven, my barbecue.
The pizza oven.
From outside kitchen, this is comforts me.
That's why we overpriced this house for that damn pizza oven.
And my yoga room too. Okay?
$150,000 pizza oven.
I want to know how much people use these pizza ovens. I see them out by the
He didn't cook me one pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. One pizza.
Well, every time he walked around, he's like, look at my pizza oven.
One time. I will do more.
Yeah. Oh, you will do more.
Yeah, I'll do more.
They want to take it with them, but they've never used it.
It was like beautiful memories with the kids. Everybody's doing a pizza.
He's like, Jay, on my listing, put pizza oven included. They'll pay extra for that.
Yeah, right.
That's really funny. So, okay, that's amazing. Let's come a little bit for the actual time, right? So what you're doing, what are your expectations, what your dreams, and for sure, one extremely important moment. You mentioned to me that something happened in your life and you changed a little bit your approach with life, with business, and it was a little bit because of the book, The Secret, right? That you read and you start applying law of attraction in your life.
Yeah.
And then a little bit some trainings. Tell a little bit how it was a shift, right? Between before and right now.
Yeah. So I think it was, I read the book, The Secret. It was one of my first like self-help books, I guess you could call it. And I'm very much into, knowledge and a thirst for knowledge and just, making a good use of my time to better myself versus like, I don't watch like, even though I do a TV show that's reality TV, I don't watch a lot of TV. I read when I can, and I listen to audiobooks like when I'm traveling. So I read the book, The Secret, many years ago, and I started applying the rules the law of attraction. And what you put out comes back to you. What you focus on expands. The power of positivity and really being able to change your mindset and to look at things differently. I'm not perfect at it. I catch myself doing it all the time where I'm, negative talk but to be aware, to be able to catch yourself doing it and to be able to redirect. And I think that's important too. I mean, I've worked with many realtors that are, on my team in the past that they're flying high 1 hour because they got a great deal. And then they call me and they're devastated because the deal fell apart. I'm like, you have to learn how to redirect your energy and to not dwell on, because the outcome's not going to change. It's just how you look at it. So, change the way you look at things and the things you look at change. So, but yeah, I think that it's really important. Everything is energy. I'm very into like the power of the universe and all of that. So, I think, manifestation, all of those things all work together to help you live your best life. And, I think that it leads to a much more fruitful life and career and things just, sometimes it's not luck, but sometimes things just come to you. And, it hasn't been easy. There's a lot of struggles that I've had and I still do. We're all struggling with something, right? So, I think it's just the power of your energy and positivity.
And is there any habit or anything that you put in your life that people can, mirror themselves or even apply for themselves that you learn after reading this book? Is there anything that you do actually? I think having a moment of gratitude is important. Starting your day with positive mindset, with being thankful for what you have, where you're at with everything, looking at things with an open mind and in a positive light. I also work out every morning. It's like the first thing I do. It's just been my schedule for a long time, whether I go for a walk or I go to the gym. I always do something in the morning at the same time. And I have to do it. It's kind of my mind, my mindset clearing type of time of my day. And it really sets me up for the rest of the day. And that's just something that I've always done. And I can be super tired. I can be a really early morning, or I can be super stressed out. And if I go for, 4 miles, I get back and I'm a totally different person. Yeah. So I think that's important
good advice.
too.
Mindset's key in our business.
Yeah. The energy is different.
Yeah.
Raquel does yoga, right?
Yes.
I also do yoga.
Yeah.
My yoga is more meditation. Your yoga is more physical, right?
It's physical, but I do my meditation, which is mindfulness meditation, and the third M, which, by the way, guys, Emily is doing the M word, the meditation workshops. It's a course that she does. It's amazing. It's online. Anybody that wants it. I do that one. I mean, she starts with breathing, like in a matter of probably 60 seconds, you can shift your energy like 360.
That's awesome. I crafted, took a ninja selling course, which was a.
You did the ninja?
I did the ninja. Yeah, and all my ninja peeps. What's up? They challenge you to craft a journal, and so every morning you wake up and you write in a journal. I took that to the next level and I put it actually in my phone, so it actually sets up a reminder, so it pops up every morning at 7 a.m. So usually I'm up and going by that time. So it's a nice moment to just stop at whatever I'm doing and just read through it. A lot of goal sharing, a lot of mindset sharing and stuff too. But it kind of puts things back in perspective that, like you pointed out, today is not about the deal. It's about what you make of it. So,
And what's the new challenges? What is you came through a point that you were selling in Connecticut. Now you are in Florida. But you mentioned to me that you're also focusing on the family office, right?
Yeah.
For the family,
so like a
wealthy family that they have their own office, their own like real estate, like consultant, whatever.
So a family office, for people that don't know, is for high net worth individuals that usually have a net worth of 25 million or more. It can be an actual family, or it can be multiple family or multiple people, but they combine to keep things private. So their assets and their money and who helps manage their generational wealth is kept very private. So they generally have an advisor for every critical piece of the business, except they don't have a real estate advisor, which is so interesting because they have so much real estate. And that's a big piece of the investment that where their money is. So I started contacting these family offices and asking them, you have an attorney that works strictly for the family office. You have, this advisor and that advisor, but you don't have a real estate advisor, because a lot of times people just think, oh, a traditional realtor is just the local. That's it. They're from Fort Lauderdale, so that's all they know. They can't help me with something in, Idaho, but I can. I can take their client and treat them with white glove service, so they know that I'm handling it, and then I go and find the solution, whether that be a referral partner in Idaho, where I explain the situation, that I'm going to be involved to an extent to provide them good customer service. I'm not licensed in that state, so I can't do the transaction or do the paperwork or anything like that. So this was
how it works in terms of the commission. Can you bite a little bit of the commission for the transaction?
Oh, sure.
Yeah?
It's a referral fee. Yeah. So there's tons of referral networks out there. So I just had a woman call me yesterday, actually. She's got $1 million buyer, and she's from Texas and in Miami, and she wants me to work with them. So, and they state what they want for a referral fee up front, and you can accept it or not, or negotiate it. It's pretty standard across the board for the most part. Yeah. But yeah, it's
which is what, like half of the commission?
No, don't worry about how much money we make.
I'm learning, guys. I'm creating my secret weapon of the future.
That's an industry secret,
guys. We are here to share with the audience. There's some realtors that don't know.
So typically between 25 and 35%.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. That's a pretty common industry standard.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. That's cool.
So. So that's
that's cool. And what was the name of that network? That was called a home advisor.
No.
Nope.
No, family.
I botched that all.
Family office.
Well, so it's Lux Global Lifestyles. It's just my name, but it's just working together with family offices, and they're very high net worth individuals are very protective of who they associate with, and they're very private.
Yeah.
So guys, if you are a family office,
or if you need a family office,
or a high net worth individual,
$25 million or more, you can come to me, and I'm gonna get a referral fee from.
There you go.
Dana. I love it.
Did I do right, Jay? Is it the right way?
That's why he's asking what kind of commission cut he's getting.
Exactly.
Mine was 35%.
It's 35. All right.
So now, guys, we are going to the golden nuggets of knowledge, and then I'm just gonna share everything what she does to get all these really, really high net worth people to follow her and to bring to her a lot of business. And she's gonna share everything, her point of view. And me and Jay, dumb people are gonna try to comment.
I'm gonna try.
And Raquel have some stuff to do too, because she's great.
She's next level.
But we are here as students.
All right. How to leverage social media, Dana. What are we doing over there?
Well, social media is free for the most part.
Yeah.
It's a great tool for advertising and marketing, and the you pay for a magazine ad, right? That's just one dimensional. It goes out once. It's people throw it out. They look at it once. Social media, you can repurpose your content. You can bring value to the viewer, which you always want to provide value, but you also want to be authentic, and you don't want to do things that don't resonate with you or that don't feel right. Posting, you get mixed reviews on how often to post. I tend to put something up every day. That's just, sometimes it's multiple times a day.
But you do yourself, or do you have people helping?
No, I do all of it myself. I don't believe in paying people to do social media because it's very personal.
Do you use your personal page, or do you use a business page?
I get much more business from my personal page. Right. Okay. I always have. It's because you're connecting personally, and people work with people they know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
So I've had so many people contact me because they feel like they know me. They see what I'm doing, and I make a good mix of my personal life and my business life. So people know I'm a professional. When realtors post listings on social media and they post that they just had a closing, I actually had a family member tell me, I can't believe how much she brags on social media.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
those are haters, though.
Well, but they don't see it from a sales and marketing
perspective. Why are you saying that? You generally do this. I did this.
And I agree. There are definitely people that get that dysmorphia from watching other people's social media. Yeah. And it's kind of like a jealousy thing. Yeah. I don't understand that because, for me, it's inspirational.
Yeah.
But I think, letting people know who you are, being your true authentic self, posting at different times of the day. I mean, there's better times of the day to post than others, but letting people know who you are. You're a realtor. You want everyone to know that you sell houses. How can I help you today?
Don't be a secret agent.
Yeah. Don't be a secret agent. Yeah. Ask for the business. Always make a call to action when you're posting on social media. I mean, you don't want to be overly pressury, obviously.
And this is the way to leverage. What do we mean by the first bullet point, right? How to leverage social media.
But I want to compliment Dana. One of the things I noticed, and I picked up on this through her post, is that she does a lot of stuff with different partners and people that she meets throughout the country, and she's really good about giving them some homage back by putting the whomever she's talking to in the photos as well too. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people they tend to me post. Mm-hmm. It's all about me. Mm-hmm. It's all about me. Mm-hmm. But giving back and identifying a real estate agent or a partner or a brand or a service that you use to get to point A to point B, you're really good about that. And I think
Thank you.
that I think that adds to that connectability of partnership, which is
absolutely.
But that's what makes people, when you speak about them and you show them off, it puts you so much forward than just me. I did this, or I did that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you get even more than the person that you are.
Absolutely.
You are.
And then obviously you see what kind of person they are, because if they repost it, then obviously they're a giver as well too, which is great.
Mm-hmm. So that's why Jay owns me at least 100 referrals.
I got
after
70 testimonials.
There's so many Facebook groups out there too that are pertaining to our business and our industry that you can get into that are great for referrals. The referral I got yesterday from Miami was from a referral network on social media. Oh. And actually one of my girlfriends who is from the referral came from Dallas, but my girlfriend who is in Fort Lauderdale now is from Dallas. And I actually met her on social media. And we actually it was kind of like a blind date. Like she's like, I think we should be friends. I love watching your social media. And she's one of my best friends here now. And she tagged me. So it brought attention to me, and I reached out to the realtor with the referral, and so did everybody else. But I specifically went directly to the realtor.
That's great. How does the Captain Painters doing on Tinder? Do you get a lot of referrals off of that? Does that work? Does that work well?
Jessica,
only you, baby. Only you. That's great. That's great. Swipe left.
But I know that some of your realtors, they use Tinder to get some hits, right?
Yeah, we use everything we can in our industry.
Well, 77% of realtors utilize social media.
Yeah.
And if you think about how much like millennials and the baby boomers and those type of people are using, 99% of millennials search online for everything.
What's the most powerful social media in your perspective?
Some people won't agree with me. Specifically for me, it's Facebook. It's just easier to tell a story. It's, Instagram's more pictures and that sort of thing. I love LinkedIn too. I've really started using LinkedIn more, and that's where I found a lot more of my recent opportunities. I didn't really use it to its full potential prior. I ended up getting like the boosted page, and so that's where you pay for.
Yeah,
Jay. So you were lying to me, right, about OnlyFans or something? That only works for you, right?
That's one way to get business, I guess.
I get a lot of business from my OnlyFans.
Jay is always trying to send me in the wrong direction.
It's like, Jay, LinkedIn, Twitter, or OnlyFans? OnlyFans. That's the best way. A lot of painting contracts will come from that.
So one time I was thinking about, I should create these campaigns, right, with a hot girl splashing paint everywhere on TikTok.
Oh boy.
No, Jessica, this is all wrong.
That's all
mistake.
Yeah.
The power of the video. There is this next bullet point about social media, and she mentioned to me something about the power of the video. Tell me a little bit more about this.
Yeah. So if you're a realtor and you're looking to gain business and exposure from social media, you have to do video.
Yeah.
And you have to bring value to the viewer, or, what's in it for them. Why are they going to watch it? I find, there's different types of video, obviously, stories and reels and that sort of thing. Some don't even have to have you talking. It could just be a reel of your listing. mix it up. Have, an informational piece that maybe of you talking and, bringing interest into the market, or information on what the market's doing in your hometown or your state or whatnot. And then, you can do video for your listing. And I just think it's really important, especially for the viewer, to connect. People want to feel connected. So doing a personalized video, I think, goes a really long way. I know a lot of people aren't in front, they're not comfortable in front of the camera. Just take some time to record yourself and speak, into the camera and watch it back and, see how you do. It's you have to go through and put the work in for you to get the reward. And people love to feel like that personal connection. So I think if you're not doing video, definitely get in the habit of doing it and practice. I used to practice a ton, and I know it sounds silly, but again, this is something for your business. People will pay thousands of dollars to go to Ninja Selling or, all these different,
workshop.
Yeah, like Brian Buffini. All of those workshops. Great. That's great. But are you actually utilizing the tools once you walk away from the workshop? So take the time. It's free.
What's interesting, Dan, is Raquel's a huge advocate for videography. And actually, she was the first one that challenged me to do it, over a decade ago when Facebook first came out with their whole live feature. And she was challenging me to get out in front of the video. And I mean, to that point. And it's funny because you're absolutely right. Like if you think about, really video's been around for about 10 good years, and, we didn't have filters back then. So you're right. And so I didn't have a lot of competition because no girl was going to get in front of a camera without a filter. Right. And it's just the way it was. And most guys were just like intimidated by the tech. And you had me out there doing videos, which was pretty cool.
Originally I used to do it and do it again and cut it and do it again and do it again, do it 10 times before I said, okay, this one is going to go out.
Yeah.
Right now, I just take the phone, do it. And as long as I give good information. And one thing I would say to people, you're not talking to the camera. You're talking to somebody who's watching it. And if you make that switch in your head, then you're not going to have this camera. Oh, I'm camera. Maybe I'm this, my hair, my nose, my whatever. Just be authentic as if you're in front of somebody and having a conversation. And you will be a lot more natural. It will flow better. And people will be able to relate to you.
Absolutely.
If every video that you put over there is the professional one that was done in a studio with 17 cameras and lights and more.
Right.
You should have a couple of those. Absolutely.
So I want to pony this up for Dana though too. So we talk about, with the power of video, we're talking about the authentic type of video, right? Which is much more organic, could be live, could be staged, whatever. But then there's a time and a place where you might need a little bit more high production video.
Sure.
And talk a little bit about that, Dana, because you've actually done some really cool things with the sort of high production videography and stuff. Yeah.
So I host a South Florida real estate show. So I get a lot of content from that. So that's obviously done on a more professional level. I have a great videographer that I work with. And she's so talented. She's, pretty young, and she's absolutely amazing. So she does a lot of my professional video for me too. She actually works on our TV shows now too. So we've got her on the Travel Channel filming for us. But the professional quality is great, but also people like to see sometimes like the raw footage, just you standing in front of your listing, talking about, your new listing and your open house this Sunday, that sort of thing. Just look and feel natural. You don't don't read off of people can tell when you're reading, and they can tell when you're not comfortable. So like you said, it was a perfect point. Just talk like you would talk to your friend. If someone asked you right now and you were meeting a client and they said, how's the market right now? How are you going to respond? It's the same thing. Just, tell people what's going on in the market and what you would tell somebody if they called you on the phone or they were standing in front of you.
In terms of video, Jay, I think we have I have a good book. She read The Secret.
Oh yeah,
for me, and probably for you, there is another book called The Secret of Growing Hair. Probably we need to read this book for us to get good on the video camera, right?
On my morning gratitudes, I say thank you God for making me 6'2", so that you cannot see the top of my head.
I don't have this advantage. I'm sorry, guys. Let's go to the third bullet point. How to attract clients through social media.
Sure.
What do you have to say about that?
Yeah. So I think engaging with people, when somebody comments on something, respond and say thank you, or provide engagement and respond in a timely fashion too. I mean, I spend a good amount of my morning right after I get up and I'm having my coffees. I work on my social media and I set it up for, like if I'm going to post a video or something like that. So it's another chunk of your day when you're in real estate or sales and marketing. This can apply to other industries, where you're working on your business and you're providing value to the viewer. So attracting, how to attract clients, show them what you do, show them how good you are, how many listings did you sell, or, how do you present your listing? If you're standing in front and you're doing a video, do you look professional? Does your photography for your listing look professional? So, letting them know what you do and how you can help them. People always want to know what's in it for me. So how can you bring value to them? And they also want to know, can they trust you? So if you look like you don't know what you're doing, or if you have other things on your social media that maybe will make them question your professionalism and working with you, that's not good either. Try to remain neutral in topics like politics and things that can sway people one way or another.
I have a politic question. Because you mentioned that
problem, not a question.
You mentioned that a lot of people is getting out of Connecticut because of politics. Jay, what do you think it is?
Listen, we accept all shapes, sizes, and colors here in Florida. So we're good.
But why people is getting out? What is the actual governor from Connecticut? Democrat?
It's a Democratic state.
Democratic state.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, if I become Republicans, it's because of Jay. I don't vote for next 5 years, but I still making my mind. Can always sponsor my show. How do you say that you are a swing?
Swing vote. Vote.
I'm a swing vote for someone that sponsors me. So Democrats, Republicans are all invited.
Depends on your income. That's what it is.
I'm sorry, Dennis, to interrupt you. I have to mention
that. But all great points Dana brings up. I mean, social media obviously is key in her space. She's got a great following, and she's using media, even though you mentioned before some intimidations of tech and sort of the new challenges versus old school methods. You're using new tech in a way that I think is important, that agents should pay attention about. And it's not all about TikToks and Reels.
So let me ask you a question related to this, Dana. Right now, not going to politics. What do you think is stuff that people use in their social media that instead of attracting people, they're repelling people?
This might be controversial, but this is just how I feel.
We like controversy here,
I personally don't like the silly TikToks. I think they look really unprofessional.
Yeah.
I've always maintained like a level of class and professionalism that across all things that I do. So
we're okay with bikini shots.
Hey, that's,
yoga poses.
Hey, you're on a boat on the weekend. You're probably wearing a swimsuit.
Do not review. We're going to be doing with you here in the show to attract more audience.
But I think just be cautious of what you put up. I mean, you see realtors like fighting on Facebook with, or, trashing somebody or complaining about, just leave it alone. It's not the place for it. If you're going to use it for business, and even if you're not using it for business and you're like, this is my personal page, I can say whatever I want, just remember that your clients can find you. Even if your page is private, you don't know if someone that you're friends with knows that person and they screenshot it and they send it to them. I just think to just keep it at a level where
clean.
Yeah.
Keep it in a place that no matter who is going to see it, they're not going to be offended.
Exactly.
They're not going to be holding it against you. They're not going to feel like you have something against them.
But don't you think you become too much vanilla if you do this?
No, you do put spices.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But you don't have to use jalapeno.
Brazilian people from my area, we love spicy stuff.
I love spicy, but sometimes there's spicy that is too much.
Yeah, there is a little bit of two different schools, right? Because there is a school that say you should create polemic that you're going to have haters and people that loves you, but you're going to leverage your audience, right? You're going to push for it.
Right.
You know?
And some people build their following off of that.
Uncontroversial. Look at Gary Vee.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is so controversial that it's like everything that
he gets followers.
Listen,
that
you're
hate
never
him,
going to
just
please everybody. You're not going to please everyone. I'm sure that there's people that probably they think my social media is annoying. Fine, that's fine. You know, I don't really care what other people think about, you know, the way I choose to do things because that's what resonates with me. So I think, you know, do what feels right for you, but also really try. I know there's a lot of, and I have personal friends that they're just like, I can't get into it. I just can't get into the whole posting thing. And it feels unnatural for them.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's also, I've made so many relationships from social media. When I came down to Florida, I think I mentioned before that I reached out on social media and said, I'm looking for an attorney. I'm looking for people I can connect with down here. I'm coming down here. I have a ton of experience. And that's how I met the first few people that introduced me to more people and introduced me to more people. And it really just, the spider just grew. And I've always used social media as a massive connector. Yeah. And that's, you know, it's what you put into it. It's like anything else.
Good. I like it. That's awesome. Good tools. Good tip.
Vanilla News.
Good tips.
With our sponsorship.
Oh, another sponsorship moment here. Well, listen, guys, just remember that, you know, we appreciate all the viewership and all the people that are subscribing to our channel, but nothing would happen here if it was not for our sponsors. And our main sponsor, our core sponsor, is the Captain Painter. This guy over here, Augusto Alagia, the Captain Painter, has up a crew here based in Fort Lauderdale. And if you are looking to paint your house, which you should be every 5 years, you may want to check out thecaptainpainter.com for a free quote.
Free estimate. And you only pay after the job is done.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Pretty cool.
You have to be happy.
What a great show. What a good show today.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the final words, guys.
Yeah.
So it was
great.
Beautiful.
Good.
1 hour, 20 minutes.
And I think if anybody was watching this, I think they get some really good value out of some tools and tips. I appreciate you sharing some of that, Dana.
So.
Yeah.
Hope so.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So again, guys, we have finalized our show. And I have with me Raphael, the Mortgage Fairy. Mortgage Fairy.
Where do they find you at, Raquel?
It's just Ask Raquel or meetraquel.com.
Good.
I love it. And I would like to ask you one question.
Yes.
What question do you wish that we asked you?
Oh, wow. That's a deep question.
But I wish that you asked me.
Yeah, that we didn't.
Well, I mean, gosh, you know, I think you did ask it, but you know, like what struggles do you face? Because it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
You know, this is a very volatile business, and you see the pretty picture when you see the nice listing, and you see, you know, us dressed up and doing photo shoots and on a TV show. But, you know, they don't see the 5 deals that fell apart at the last quarter of the year.
Yeah.
Like that were just really, really great deals.
Yeah.
And there was no way of putting them back together. And, you know, that was a pretty devastating quarter.
Yeah.
So they don't see, you know, the no's and the work that goes into it. And
do you think that those stories should be shared?
Yeah. In fact, we have a T-shirt coming out. Realtors need hugs too. And you know, we go through tough times as well. So.
Yeah. No, it's, you know, same thing with mortgages though too. I mean, you do a ton of work, and then another lender will come in and maybe
scoop it up.
You know, mess around with the numbers a little bit to get the client on the front end, and you know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
You know. And
Kelly never does.
They leave to go to this other lender, and then they kind of bait and switch them. You've just done all this work and you don't get paid either. So, you know, it's the same. And especially with this market, with the interest rates right now and the cash buyers. And, you know, it's been a very challenging time for lenders too. So we all are kind of facing our own challenges, you know, and learning to pivot. It's always a roller coaster. I mean, the market fluctuates, and this will, as we were talking about earlier, this will turn around, and you have to.
Well, I promise you, this is my 5th rodeo.
Yeah.
The 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the teens. Now
you're indestructible, Raquel.
It's also going to weed out a lot of people that were just kind of doing the side gig.
Or they join teams.
Yep.
Absolutely. The banker today told me that all their mortgage brokers left.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. More business for you.
Yeah.
That's great.
Cha-ching.
I'm staying as a painter, guys. Raquel. Can I?
Can you what?
And that's the end of the real stuff.
Dana, really quick shout out to everybody.
No. Let's come back there. Yeah, Dana. Last words. Take your time. How we find you and how we can help your business.
Absolutely. So you can find me on social media. Dana Flanagan Official on Instagram. Dana Flanagan on Facebook, and you can also email me at dana@danaflanagan.com.
And if I want to watch you on TV, where do I find you at?
Oh, it depends what show you're watching, but Travel Channel, WeTV, and Roku. So
that's nice.
Yeah. And now the Real Stuff Show. Jay, shout out to Jay.
Man, shout out
like the high hitter, pickleball agent, a very good knowledge person, helping a lot of people. I joke a lot because he is
good. He
likes to joke.
I'm an easy target.
So how can we find you? And then last words.
Anybody ever wants to find me? Obviously, here I'm a local guy. Hit me up. But you want to DM me through Instagram? It's Ask Jay Graneri at Instagram. You can find me there and shoot us some questions. We love to get some more engagement from our Real Stuff Show fans, and let us know who you'd like us to bring on the show, and maybe it's you. So reach out and let me know, and we'll have an interview set up for you.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And guys, I'm Augusto Alagia. I'm the Captain Painter. So if you need for a painting job, contact me, thecaptainpainter.com. And if you want to participate of this show, sponsor the shows, we share the costs. We work together here. There's no fancy stuff here. Everybody here contributes with something like referrals, connections. We are all together in this beautiful journey of the real estate. So come back to me, The Real Stuff Show.
Woo! Woo! Yes.